I moved down to Florida from New York when I was 6 years old, and my father's health brought us down here. And I started at King's when I was in 2nd grade, and my dad ended up with lung cancer when I was in 3rd grade. I was 9 years old, and he ended up dying within 6 weeks, in May 29th. 1987. And I remember Mrs. Rayers, who was my 3rd grade teacher here. She would come to the hospital every night for a couple weeks just to be with me because my mom was so distraught with everything going on, and she knew I needed her. And so that type of love that King's offers, I noticed it and had it all the way through until my senior year when I graduated, and met the best friends I'll ever have. Most of them are here. They were in my wedding. I met my husband here, and I don't really know if my dad wouldn't have passed away. I don't really know what my life would have been because it was his Social Security check that allowed me to continue on to be at King's after his death. And I would not have been able to continue here if that wasn't the case. So it's interesting how there's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, but God worked that for such good in my life. And I'm not saying that all tragedy feels good, but this was something that really was amazing in my life, that I was able to continue at King's and meet my husband and the greatest friends I'll ever have. So he really turned that around for good. And King's has been instrumental in my life. It is a joy to be here. It's a joy to give back from what the teachers did for me when I was here in 2nd grade, Mrs. Stromberg's class. I accepted Christ when I was in a chapel, and in 7th grade, Mrs. Allison Fisher, who also teaches here, invited me to go to youth group with her at First Baptist West Palm. And when I was in 8th grade, after I rededicated my life, got baptized, I came home from a summer camp, and I remember saying to my mom, I have to share Jesus with you. And I just let me talk, just listen to me. And I was like 13 or 14. And on the couch that day, my mom prayed to receive Christ. And it all started with me being in Miss Stromberg's class, accepting Christ as a 2nd grader, meeting Allison Fisher, who invited me to the youth group, and then I was able to go to those camps with her church every year. And that 8th grade year, I got home, and I had that burden to share Jesus with my mom, and she accepted Christ. And it all stemmed from this school, and that I was able to go here. It's just the hugest blessing ever. Mr. Gentry, when he was the principal at the time, called me and said, okay, I know you have your master's in something medical, but would you come teach here? And I was like, okay, but I have to get into the science department because I have a master's in science field. And so that next year, I went from assistant band director, because that's what they needed that year, because I played the drums in high school, to the science department. And I've been here ever since, and it was the easiest decision I've ever made to go from the hospital here. And now this is my 15th year teaching here. And when I made that decision 15 years ago, before I was even married, I remember thinking, if I teach here, that's one of the pros to teaching here, is that one day when I have children, my children will get to experience the love and the nurture and all that I experienced here, because it's not the facilities, it's not the amazing $1 million this and this that makes King's so special. It's the people, because the people that, like Mrs. Rayers, that came to the hospital when my dad was dying, are the kind of people that are still here. And I want to be one of those people. If I could be one of those people to just one kid, it would make all the difference in the world to be worth it. And so now my little one, Aiden, who's 6, is in Mrs. Leslie's class. And try not to cry, but she's amazing, and she shows him God every day. And I can't thank her enough for that, because it's made such a difference in our lives. And my little Carter, he's 2.5, and he's at the preschool. And just to know that they will be raised knowing God, loving God, and being nurtured here is the biggest gift I could ever ask for. And I'm very grateful, and I'm so happy my boys get to experience what I did here.